Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Thursday, the 14th day. We're almost halfway through July. Holy cow. It's National Grand Mariner Day today. It is National Mac and Cheese Day. Oh, that's good stuff. Mac and cheese?
Oh, who doesn't love
Who's
mac and
your favorite
cheese?
mac and cheese, Heidi?
Kraft
Mac? I thought for sure you were going to say the Panera mac and cheese.
Oh, I thought you meant like just store-bought.
No, I mean-
no. As far as a restaurant goes,
Yeah.
it's for sure Panera. Their
but
macaroni
Kraft
and cheese
mac
is
and
amazing.
cheese, Kraft mac and cheese is pretty darn
It's
good
a staple.
too. Yeah, National Nude Day today, so I don't know, put some clothes on or take some off or whatever. And National Tape Measure Day today, which is kind of weird that that's on National Nude Day. I'm just gonna say, and it is a Thursday. And that means we have Dear John Letters. Yeah, our Dear John letter today is from a guy who his friend and his wife don't get along, so he's got a little bit of a struggle, and he's kind of wondering if maybe anybody's got some ideas for him. So can't wait to see what Heidi says, but that's coming your way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
What can I say that I haven't already said about bettercreditcards.com? It's a website. You go there to get a better credit card. Okay, that's really probably all I need to say for most of you, but I still have time left, so how about this? At bettercreditcards.com, we have different kinds of credit cards, some with better points and perks, some designed to help you build your credit. Whatever stage of life you happen to be in, we want to help. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. A recent study found 72% of Americans have traveled or plan to travel. However, a big consideration for those returning to traveling is remembering proper etiquette. So talking about what's the do's and the don'ts, like when you're on an airplane. Nearly half think travelers have become more rude and self-aware since the pandemic. Less self-aware. So more rude and less self-aware. 90% think it's unacceptable to take your shoes and socks off on a plane. I agree.
I agree with that completely.
Keep those on. Nobody wants that. 94% think it's acceptable to take smelly food on a flight. Please don't do that. I was on a plane next to a person who had some very smelly food. 65% say it's okay to talk to somebody next to you on a plane. 35% think that's annoying and would rather not. It'd be nice if we knew that ahead of time so they could seat us accordingly. 2 and 3 people say they'll continue to wear masks on airplanes, regardless of how people get to their destination. Hotels are the preferred accommodations. So once you get there, it's usually a hotel rather than anywhere else. People are on their best behavior after checking in when it comes to hotel etiquette. The study revealed 28% of people believe it's acceptable to leave the hotel room a mess, and only 31% ever leave a tip. So we always tidy up the room before we leave. We don't make it like super spotless, but we make it as nice and tidy as we can. That is surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Are you looking for an energy drink that's natural, lasts longer, has no dyes, no artificial flavorings, and no sugar? Blitz Energy Drink is the answer. With only 10 calories per serving and 200 milligrams of caffeine, our formula will help increase your focus, endurance, mood, and energy levels. Order now at drinkblitzenergy.com. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% and get free shipping on any canister. drinkblitzenergy.com. Promo code RADIO20. That's drinkblitzenergy.com.
Did you know? Brought to you by RadioTravelGroup.com. Heidi, did you know Jon Stewart is apparently in the news for maybe running for president, but he quickly shut it down. There was a viral op-ed suggesting he should run for office in 2024. Stewart responded on Twitter, no thank you.
Yeah, who would want that job?
Following the opinion piece published by Politico. By the way, we very rarely talk about politics on this program, but I thought, this is kind of such a fun thing. But it says, if Tucker runs in 2024, here's who the Democrats need to have run, Jon Stewart. So they had this whole thing here. Anyway, Jon Stewart was like, that's funny, but no, it's not going to happen, no. He says, what is it? The person who wrote it said he would be a better fit than most politicians for what modern politics has become. So there was a movie, Man of the Year, with Robin Williams, where he was a character like that, late night, and he ran for president and won. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
And if you watch that movie now, it's actually more interesting because it was a computer glitch that made him president. And you're like, interesting stuff. There you go. We don't know everything, but now we know this.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Hugh Bonneville doubts that another Downton Abbey movie will ever be made. The 58-year who played Robert Crawley, Earl of Grantham, is in both period drama TV series and the two movies, thinks the franchise has, quote, probably run its course. So it's apparently been around for 12 years.
There were so many people that I know that loved it. I've never seen it.
Yeah, your Aunt Nancy, no, not Aunt
Linda.
Nancy, Aunt Linda was big time fan.
Loved it, yeah.
Because she was asking us every time, did you see it yet? Did you see it yet? And we're like, we still haven't seen it.
No.
It's not that we didn't want to. We just haven't had a chance. A documentary about the life and career of Captain Kirk, William Shatner, is in the works. So they're going to be working on this. By the way, he's 91 years old now. Did you know that?
Holy cow.
Yeah, and he was on Star Trek, Boston Legal, and many other things. And I don't know when this is going to come out, but Kevin Smith is involved in the project.
Oh,
and
okay.
It should be kind of a neat thing. I've got more details in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Join us in October for The Sands, a week of music and fun that's been described as the best week ever by many guests. This year we have more icons and more fun. Loverboy, Belinda Carlisle, Lou Gramm, Vanilla Ice, Samantha Fox, Firehouse, and many more already on the schedule. Plus, more announcements coming soon. Plan to join us October 25th through the 30th at Planet Hollywood Beach Resort Cancun. This all-inclusive event will be the time of your life. Learn more now at radiotravelgroup.com.
Time now for the scoop of the day. It comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. We're going to take a little bit of time on this story because I think it's kind of interesting. An Indiana personal trainer claims that running on all fours like a dog every day for nearly a year has done wonders for his physical fitness. And he says others should follow his lead. Videos showing off his unique form have amassed millions of views on TikTok. So I'm going to pause right here.
So does he do this out in public or is it just like in the gym?
No, this is what he does around his community.
Crazy.
He's 31 years old. Nathaniel Nolan says he came up with the idea himself last August. And he set aside about 30 minutes every day for walking and running on his hands and feet. In one video from June with more than 21 million views, the Indianapolis native can be seen using his hands and feet to canter effortlessly across the grass. Nolan says his level of fitness has improved by literally leaps and bounds. His joints and back pain have dissipated, and his physique has become much more well-defined, as evidenced in the videos, by the way. Aside from his peculiar fitness regime, Nolan says he lives a, quote, completely normal life, end quote.
Sounds like it.
Dude, you run around the yard like a dog. He keeps chasing cars.
Well, hey, whatever,
no, he's
man.
not.
I mean, at least he's getting some exercise.
He's not really chasing cars, but I just think, does that seem odd? This was going to be my weird news today.
It seems odd, yes.
It probably should have been my weird news today, honestly, because I don't know. It just seems so bizarre to me. But then again, if you look at the videos, you can see this dude is like pretty, his physique is pretty good. Like he's in very good shape. Meanwhile, over here, I'm mocking this and my physique, I kind of look like a penguin. So not so great. All right. I've got a link to that story, video and all in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Are you ready to enjoy a little slice of paradise? Check out this beautiful family-owned, professionally managed vacation rental in sunny Poipu, Kauai, Hawaii. Our family stayed recently and we absolutely loved it. The area is so beautiful and the vacation rental has room for up to 6 guests. Why stay in hotel rooms when you can all enjoy your own area in a vacation rental? Visit Hawaii and make your trip to this tropical paradise one to remember. Learn more at radiotravelgroup.com. That's radiotravelgroup.com.
And it's time right now for Dear John Letters.
Dear John, Dear John.
All right, I'm excited to see what Heidi has to say about this because I got a feeling she'll have an opinion.
I always have an opinion.
I know you do. All right, here we go. Dear John, a lifelong friend is coming to visit. We've been friends since first grade. He and my wife are polar opposites when it comes to politics and just about everything else. I've already offered to let him stay with us, but now my wife is saying he should just get a hotel. I'm trying to figure out what makes the most sense. He'll be here for 3 days and really just 2 nights. I know the weekend is a busy weekend, and I'm not even sure if he'd be able to get a room at this point. What do I do? Should I convince my wife to just let him stay here but promise that we will not let politics or anything else cause an issue? Or should I just tell him now so he can decide if he even still wants to join us. Signed, stuck between my wife and my friend. So I'm going to just yield the floor to Heidi right now and see what she says.
Here's what I will say first.
Okay.
Before inviting anybody to stay at your home,
Yeah.
you should probably discuss it with
That's
your
a good
wife.
idea. That's or your husband if you're the wife.
I am saying this sternly because we have had this issue repeatedly in our home.
I just thought of one.
Yeah.
And here before we answer the question, I'm gonna tell you guys just how dumb I am. This is like 3 days before Thanksgiving, and I invited a guy who I've never met. I've talked to him on the phone. He and I were friends, and I say we're friends because we haven't talked now for over a year. But I invited him and his wife and their 2 kids and their dog and their cat to move. 2 dogs and their cat to come stay with us until they figured out where they're going. This is like 2 years ago, and they had a place lined up, and then it fell through. And he was on Facebook, and it was bad. I was like, man, I feel awful. I would be torn up if that happened with my family too. So I was like, hey, if you want to come stay with us, and Heidi's in the other room, she's like, what did you just say?
Yeah. Always ask permission.
Yeah, that was not the smartest thing. Anyway, they chose not to stay with us, which was probably the best thing. If they'd have come to stay with us, Heidi would not have been here, I'm pretty sure. But back to this letter, stuck between my wife and my friend. So first thing I would do, I don't know if you...
So that would have solved the problem right there because you would have been on the same page way before it ever even came an issue.
So, and that's the thing. I don't know if they talked about it and then since then, because that's what I'm trying to figure out. It doesn't sound like this was going to be an issue. But now his wife, it sounds like recently just said maybe he should just get a hotel room.
I'm guessing that he didn't ever even mention it. He just said, just come and stay with us. And
it could be.
Now she's like,
But there are people who like to argue on social media. So it could have very easily been something that happened recently. Again, I don't know. That part isn't part of this. So I guess we're just guessing at this point. But what do I do? Should I convince my wife to let him stay here, but promise that we will not let politics or anything else cause an issue? I think that also has to be a conversation with a friend, because I don't know which one is the one that antagonizes and provokes the arguments, but if your wife is allowing this friend to stay in the home, if the two of you make the decision that, hey, you're welcome to stay here, be a good guest. If you're the guest, be a good guest and don't cause problems. If you know it's going to cause a problem, but there are some people who cause problems just to cause problems too. So I don't know what kind of friend you have. I don't know what kind of wife you have. I don't know any of the stuff that I probably need to know to answer this better. But if you've got some ideas on what stuck between my wife and my friend, what this person should be doing, because they said, at this point, the friend pretty much has to stay because you've already promised it. The friend is on the way. There's plans. It's being done. But it says also,
but there's going to be problems.
Should I just tell him now so he can decide if he even still wants to join us? Because it might even turn into a thing where he goes, if it's going to be an issue, I don't want to cause a problem for you and your wife, so I'm just not going to come there. Because if I were going to go visit somebody and I knew that it was going to cause a problem between my friend and their spouse, I would not make that trip. Would you?
I wouldn't want to be in an awkward situation.
Exactly. So, again, I think that everybody needs to get on the same page, and maybe the conversation needs to be with your wife and the friend and you all at the same time, just saying, hey, here's the plan. Guys, can we get together and not talk about politics if that's going to cause a problem? Because I don't want to have a problem. I just want all of us to get together and have some fun. You can do that, by the way. Did you know that? You can actually have fun with people who you disagree with. We did it for hundreds of years up until social media existed, didn't we? It happened all the time. So it is possible. If you got advice for stuck between my wife and my friend, you can chime in with that advice at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
What can I say that I haven't already said about bettercreditcards.com? It's a website. You go there to get a better credit card. Okay, that's really probably all I need to say for most of you, but I still have time left, so how about this? At bettercreditcards.com, we have different kinds of credit cards, some with better points and perks, some designed to help you build your credit. Whatever stage of life you happen to be in, we want to help. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The creator of The Simpsons named the characters The Simpsons because he thought it was funny to have the word simp, like short for simpleton, in their name.
Oh, okay.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Scottish band, the Bay City Rollers, chose their name after sticking a pin in a map of America, which happened to land in Michigan City.
Okay.
In the Michigan City, Bay City. So that's how they came up with
Sure,
that.
I get that.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Jamaica is the only country in the world whose flag does not contain the colors red, white, or blue.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
When you are 31 years old, you will live your 1 billionth second. Yeah.
Oh,
So we've both been around for over 1 billion seconds.
that's interesting.
It is interesting. Another fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Hamsters can store half their weight in food in their cheeks.
Really?
Yeah. And
I've seen them store food in their
Yeah.
cheeks. I didn't know it was half their weight. That's
Meanwhile,
very interesting.
I only look like I'm doing that. All right, several fun facts. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Are you looking for an energy drink that's natural, lasts longer, has no dyes, no artificial flavorings, and no sugar? Blitz Energy Drink is the answer. With only 10 calories per serving and 200 milligrams of caffeine, our formula will help increase your focus, endurance, mood, and energy levels. Order now at drinkblitzenergy.com. Use promo code RADIO20 to save 20% and get free shipping on any canister. drinkblitzenergy.com. Promo code RADIO20. That's drinkblitzenergy.com.
Time now for the Mint Mobile question of the day. Yay! It comes your way courtesy of mintervention.com. Question for you, Heidi. 58% of people say they would do nearly anything to avoid doing this. What is it?
Their taxes.
No, return something to the store. I agree completely.
I have
Heidi
friends,
doesn't mind that.
I don't
No, 'cause-
like it, but I have friends that they'll buy things on purpose just so they can return it. They're like, I
Really?
love returning things.
Really?
Yeah.
You have weird friends. Yeah, that is such an odd thing. All right, that is the answer for your Mintervention, Mint Mobile question of the day, brought to you by mintervention.com.
Join us in October for The Sands, a week of music and fun that's been described as the best week ever by many guests. This year, we have more icons and more fun. Loverboy, Belinda Carlisle, Lou Gramm, Vanilla Ice, Samantha Fox, Firehouse, and many more already on the schedule. Plus, more announcements coming soon. Plan to join us October 25th through the 30th at Planet Hollywood Beach Resort Cancun. This all-inclusive event will be the time of your life. Learn more now at radiotravelgroup.com.
Time now for some weird news, brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. A Japanese man who spent a whole year fishing small stones out of the soles of his sneakers may have inspired a new hobby. Neruro, I don't know how you say his name, Dasuski? All right,
I'm sure you
probably
nailed
not.
it.
Nailed it. An illustrator and artist recently got his 15 minutes of fame on Twitter after showing off the collection of pebbles and glass fragments that he picked out of the soles of his shoes over the last year. You know those small little stones that get stuck in the grooves of your shoes all the time? Who would ever think of collecting them? Well, this guy did. And after a year of painstaking work, he showed off his collection of 179 pebbles, 32 glass fragments, and one nut.
I would say there's more than one.
Yeah, he was the nut. All right, weird news. Brought to you by weirdgiftoftheday.com. Time now for The List, brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. This is really interesting because I never would have thought of this, but somebody on Reddit, you know, the
Yes.
online message board thing, they said, what is a rational sentence that makes sense today but would sound totally crazy 20 years ago? And the internet did not disappoint.
I bet.
So here's one. I store my contacts in the cloud. Can you imagine hearing that 20 years ago?
Yeah,
You'd be
it
like,
wouldn't
what
make
does
any
any of
sense
that
at all.
mean?
Yeah.
The 2020 Olympics were held in 2021. People are like, the what? In the what now? 128 gigabytes of storage is not much. Because back then that would have been a ton.
Right.
Always put your mask on before going into a crowded bank. 20 years ago, you'd be like, you're going to get arrested, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Uber is when you give a stranger your location over the internet so they can come pick you up in their car.
That is true.
Unplug your book so you can so I can charge my cigarette.
Oh, wow.
Officer, where do they sell weed around here? These are all.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and there's a few more on the
Crazy.
list. Again, this I think is just absolutely amazing, the list. And I've got it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Are you ready to enjoy a little slice of paradise? Check out this beautiful family-owned, professionally managed vacation rental in sunny Poipu, Kauai, Hawaii. Our family stayed recently and we absolutely loved it. The area is so beautiful and the vacation rental has room for up to 6 guests. Why stay in hotel rooms when you can all enjoy your own area in a vacation rental? Visit Hawaii and make your trip to this tropical paradise one to remember. Learn more at radiotravelgroup.com. That's radiotravelgroup.com.
Time now for the quote of the day. It comes your way, courtesy of insurancechicken.com. Here's the quote for today from Jerry Lewis, comedian. He said, "I had great success being a total idiot." End quote.
That's awesome.
He was really good at being really silly.
Yeah.
And one of the most awkward interviews I've ever seen in my life was with Jerry Lewis. And it's
that
on.
You did, you mean?
No, I didn't do it. No, I would have loved to have talked to him. But the person who was talking to him was totally unprepared.
Oh.
And the whole interview was so awkward. If you just type in awkward Jerry Lewis interview on YouTube, I guarantee it'll come up because it's cringeworthy to see how hard it was. You know, the whole thing. I just felt bad for Jerry. I felt bad for the other guy. It was just weird. All right, your quote of the day comes your way, courtesy of insurancechicken.com. This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Time now for some good news brought to you by radiotravelgroup.com. Here's the headline. Mississippi teen saves 3 girls and police officer after vehicle sinks in river. Holy cow. What a story.
That's crazy.
And this story, there's a photo of the young man here. It says they drove straight under the water. 16-year-old Corian Evans told the TV station, like only a little bit of the car was still above the water. Evans said he tossed his shoes, shirt, and phone and jumped in. One of his friends also jumped in and helped them get the girls to the top of their vehicle.
Wow.
He said it was just like, I can't let none of these folks die. They need to get out of the water. I just started getting them. He said, I wasn't even thinking about anything else. He helped bringing the 3 girls inside the vehicle to shore, along with a police officer who responded to the scene and swam out to help. It says, I turned around to see the police officer. He's drowning. He's going underwater, drowning, saying help. So I went over there and I grabbed the police officer and I'm like, hey, I'll help you swim back.
Oh my gosh.
Police department said that his selflessness was displayed. He risked his own life to help people in danger. If Mr. Evans had not assisted, it could have possibly turned out tragically.
Oh, that's amazing.
But instead, all occupants were rescued safely. One of the victims took to Facebook to show her appreciation, saying, he saved my life right before my very last breath.
Wow.
And there's a photo here that somebody was able to snap. I don't know if this is from a video or if this is an actual photo or what this is, but you can see they were all very deep in the water.
Wow.
And amazing. I love that story. And I've got a link to the story. It's in the show notes if you'd like to read it. And that is at johnandheidishow.com. I want to remind you, by the way, if you ever come across a story that you think is like a good news story, something that is heartwarming and makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside, if you send that to us, we might read it. If it makes me cry, you get bonus points. It is so hard to make me cry, though, isn't it?
It is not hard to
it's
make
not.
you cry.
I'm kind of a big softie. I get all choked up reading these stories. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Thursday.